Hello, everybody. My name is Amol Patel. I'm in Los Angeles. You're watching the Smoking Hot Coffee Show, where we cover internet startups, design, monetization, and marketing. I'm joined with,
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Pelton and I'm down here in San Diego.
and so you can reach Jeff at @Compstern. You can reach me at Amol_Patel. So, Jeff, Cup 32, we're cranking along. How you feeling today?
Great. It's Friday, March 8th. It's raining outside. We got a
It,
lot of rain last night. It's
yeah,
nice.
we got a lot of rain too, but we need the rain. We badly need the rain, so it's good, right, Jeff?
Yep, definitely.
All right, enough
So,
small talk, Jeff. What are we talking
yeah, you
about
want
today?
you want to talk startups or news?
Let's talk startups. If I can bring this up. All right, so here's the first news segment. Google to pay $7 million to settle a Wi spy case. What is this about, Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know. It came up on Tech Meme, and I thought we should talk about it. I
Okay.
think this might fall under our Hackers Paradise kind of segment. But
You
yeah,
know,
it says Google will soon settle with the Attorney General. Um,
let's show our cool Hackers Paradise graphic.
There you go. So
Yeah,
it
there's
says
some
that
animation for you guys.
Google will soon settle with the Attorney General representing more than 30 U.S. states over Street View cars collecting data from unsecured Wi-Fi networks, multiple sources said.
Okay.
Um, so it's to pay $7 million to be distributed among the Attorney General, according to a person familiar with the matter.
Wait a second. So,
So
Jeff,
I don't know.
what exactly are they collecting from unsecured Wi-Fi
Yeah, so,
connections?
so this might be an old story. I think at least some of what they were doing was, well, they've got these cars. In the picture, you can see it's got the mounted camera,
Mhm.
360,
Yeah.
just taking photos everywhere it goes.
Right.
But the
Right.
other thing I think they're doing is they're war driving. They're checking out what Wi-Fi networks are everywhere.
Okay.
Basically just scanning the networks. Like
Gotcha. So for
maybe think
folks that
about it
don't
how what Google does on the web, they're doing with Wi-Fi networks
So
in a
for
way.
folks that don't know what war dialing is, can you just give us a
War
really
driving. War driving was like when Wi-Fi first came out. The
Mhm.
idea is just like take your laptop with a Wi-Fi connection and like walk around your neighborhood and figure out where networks are,
Right, right, and then yeah,
particularly unsecure networks.
okay, and then the
And
idea
so
is that basically once you're in a person's unsecured network, then theoretically you peer into their file servers and look at their computers and that kind of thing. Is that what is that correct, Jeff?
um, yeah, I mean it's just a massive security potential.
Whoops, sorry about that. I gotta turn that down.
It's a
Yeah,
big
so
potential
so
for
the
security vulnerability.
exactly. So you're basically looking for unsecured networks, and so this is saying since Google is paying, clearly they were doing this. Why would a large company like Google, multi-billion-dollar company, be searching for unsecured networks, Jeff? What's your feeling? Do you think they're just looking to try to get into trouble, or is it that the law is vague in this area, and they're just a technology company looking at technologies in these areas? Are they doing studies? What's your feeling? I mean, is
Yeah, I mean, well, look, Google's going to collect all the information it can and use it however it can.
correct?
It's not necessarily trying to be malicious with the information, but
Right, right.
as they've said, this has taken years to play out. The data was actually collected in 2007 to 2010,
Yeah.
and later in minute had collected data mistakenly.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
there was kind of a little snafu with it and the sort of detail of data they were collecting, and
Hmm.
people got a little freaked out by it.
Right, right.
And this is a sort of you could say that Google is like the largest pirate in the world,
You
right?
could
Or
definitely say that.
copyright material because they're going to your website, like the NewYorkTimes.com, and they're downloading the page,
Yeah, yeah.
scraping that content, which is an article written by somebody,
Hmm.
and they're keeping copies of it
Yeah.
all over the world
Right, right.
on all their servers
Yeah,
and
yeah,
distributing it to people.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, we're kind of okay with that, but now they're doing it in like the real world,
That's correct. That's
in
correct.
a
Yeah.
mesh format, in a distributed format, and so
Yeah.
it just kind of brings up a lot of questions, and it's fun to
Yeah.
talk about what could
Well,
potentially happen
I want
here.
to go ahead and bring up our Hackers Paradise graphic again. Clearly, Google is one of the largest hacker companies in the world. They employ a lot of hackers. This is what they do. In fact, this thing was built by a rogue hacker, right? They even say it in the article. Sorry, they call it a rogue engineer. A rogue engineer is just a code word for a hacker. So,
Right.
this is a very interesting case. I will keep following more about this. I think that as a technology company, it behooves them to really to study the real world and to study how people use networks and whether it's unsecured or secured, and to glean information and analytics from the real world. Now, what they're doing with this data, how they're collecting it, and what they're doing with the payload, Yeah, of course, that's what's at issue. But for the
Yeah,
most
I guess
part,
they denied they had collected it, which is scary. I mean, you could imagine what you would. It would be nice to see like a map of all the Wi-Fi networks if I wanted to find free Wi-Fi.
yeah,
But
exactly, exactly.
you know,
I'm not sure where I land specifically on this. I believe that if the data is out there and then that you're a technology company, that you should find a way to harness this technology and to harness the data. Now, of course, there are lots of privacy issues. And that's where the Electronic Privacy Information Center comes into play here. But this is a very interesting case, Jeff.
yeah, it's great to see this old case coming back in the news. At least I guess it's getting finished up here with a ruling.
I,
But
you know, I, whenever I'm driving around or I'm at a Starbucks or whatever, I see people's. I was surfing just the other day on some guys on, Comcast. It was called Comcast because that's his router or whatever.
right.
People just don't know, and that's a big issue. That is a big issue when people just don't know. All right, so let's move on. Our first startup for today is Honey. Honey, did I say that right? Honey.co.
Well, their logo looks like it wants to be a bee,
Yeah.
made out of like a pencil mace, maybe, but pencil shaped kind of thing. But yeah, I guess honey would be the right word.
Right, Honey. So let me set our timer so we don't go crazy here. So here we are at honey.co. They're going with .co. Collaborate to learn and improve. Honey is a community where creatives collaborate through constructive peer-to-peer critiques. That's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah, I thought this would be right up your
Oh,
alley.
this is great. So one of the best ways that you learn in especially creative work is you put the stuff up on the wall and people gather around and they critique it. A lot of design schools do
Does
this.
that actually happen?
Yeah, a lot
Like
of
physically on a wall,
yeah,
or
yeah. That's what a lot of design schools do. Is you kind of work up your comps and then everybody gives them to the wall and puts it on the wall and then the class critiques and the professor comes up and gives his 2 cents on it. Yeah, so this is in a way taking that idea and maybe bringing it online. So it looks like here we are at their detail page. I can see there's some graphs here. Don't really know what's going on here. Looks like I'm at a dashboard and there's some metrics there. Here's a grid of imagery. Connect to creatives with the user experience. Okay, so this is basically a very tight network of creatives, user experience, user interface designers, that kind of thing. Kind of reminds me of
yeah,
Dribble a little bit. Dribble does
there we go.
something very
Yeah,
similar.
I was gonna say there's some competitors in the space that are more like Twitter for designers.
Hmm.
I like the call to action here is definitively different, which is I want to critique photography today,
Hmm.
or what was the other one? I want to connect with creatives in user
Yeah,
experience.
yeah,
So it's a more pointed sort of network
yeah, yeah.
than just sharing.
Exactly, and the questions that you're asking, you're kind of helping contribute the data that this thing's collecting. And it's the right questions will make up the data set. And so, here, where was that I want to critique some photographs today. I'm interested in seeing how their critique interface works and all that. But anyways, as you scroll down, we see a little bit of social proof here with some profiles and their quotes. Below that, we've got get critiques on your work from creatives at. So we've got Pivot Share, Twitter, Facebook. So they've got some big companies they've got some people here on this network. That's great. As with
Yeah, that's
anything,
unique.
as with any system like this, it's always the chicken and the egg, the seed. How do you onboard people? Are there people on board, and how do you get people using the product quickly? So one of the best ways to do that is to put up a gate and to make people wait to get in. So here we go. I got a request to get an invite. Pinterest did this. Lots of other startups do this, where they build up the excitement by saying, "Hey, you're not allowed to get in unless you get invited." And this is a great tactic to try to build up your initial user base, and that's what these guys are doing right now. I'm not so sure right now if I'm willing to fill this out because I haven't seen enough, to be honest, Jeff.
Hmm.
Um,
I like the screenshots they have in the MacBook Air
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I guess it would be great to be able to actually look at some people's detail
Yeah,
pages.
yeah,
You'd
that's
assume that they would be
ex
somewhere here, but
exactly. That I think that's what I'm more looking for. I'm looking to see
in
some of these.
addition to your onboarding stuff and chicken and egg, I think they're like we covered yesterday, like a portfolio site for developers that played heavily on APIs to pull in all the information. I'm hoping they're going to do the same thing here. When you join, it should be able to connect to your Dribble or your Forest account or your Flickr or somewhere else. You might already be,
Yeah,
you already have this stuff somewhere, maybe.
yeah, yeah.
Make it easier for people to get engaged and get the content going.
Yeah, so that's honey.co.
Yeah,
Um,
so rate this for me. What do you think of
J
this?
J Jeff,
I think you should get yourself on the list, but
Jeff,
would you find it useful enough
I
to get
think
critiques?
I think critiques are great. I would probably give it a 4 for design. It looks really well designed. Originality, not terribly original. Survival, they've got some big guys from some fairly well-known brands already on their network, so they've got the seed content, I think. So that's a big piece of this. And I assume if they curate the seed enough so that the content when I sign in is really high quality, then they've got a good shot of pulling me back in. Marketing, I'd love to see what kind of email sequence that they've got going, what kind of triggers that they've got. So if I'm inactive for several weeks, how are they going to get me back in? What kind of notifications that they've got to try to pull me back into the site. These are all really important considerations. Maybe getting several of their community members to rate some of my stuff so that I get back in. I don't know if they have those guys on their team. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see more of that. So notifications.
Yeah. Hey, take a look at the screenshot. I think I bookmarked this actually months ago,
Yeah, you looks like you did. Yeah.
perhaps, and it came back.
Oh god, I gotta turn that off. I gotta find another way to do this.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we'll get this built into the site sooner than later. But anyways, look at the messaging on that screenshot. Creatives meet startups. It looks like they may have pivoted a little bit or taken a little bit different look at the problem.
Yeah. So yeah, it definitely looks like they redesigned since you took that screenshot, or since
Yep.
the system took the screenshot.
Which is great.
Yeah.
It's neat to see the sort of pivoting. They, maybe not a full pivot, but the angling.
You know what? That's a very good point. It'd be great to see how these startups change their landing pages, their home pages over time, to see how they're shifting their focus. Is it via A/B split testing? What have they found really engages people? It'd be really great to do that. But I guess that'd be a good system to set up at a later date, huh? Track all these guys and show the screenshots over time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, right now we're trying to stay away from places, startups that are only a landing page with like a, email sign up form, like an alpha stage.
Right.
But it certainly would be cool to introduce the kind of like snapshotting them in the different phases.
Yeah.
I mean, look, this is a whole different idea, right? Creatives meet startups.
Yeah,
That's sort
completely
of like
different.
a whole different that was their root problem.
Yeah.
Right. And then they've sort of now turned it into this critique platform, which is
platform,
really totally different.
Yeah,
but,
it is totally different. So
but similar.
So I don't know what happened. Maybe they found a lot of creatives weren't interested in meeting startups. I don't know, but it sounded like maybe they were getting a lot more traction from critiques. Maybe that's what people.
But maybe that's their business model, right? Down the road, is connecting startups with these creatives, so it becomes a recruiting or
recruiting.
Platform
Absolutely, I could
marketplace for that.
I could totally see that turning into that. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so next up is so we covered these guys, and then we're a little out of sequence today. Please forgive us for that. Here it is. It's Creator Up. Okay. There we are, Creator Up, the online web school. So here we go, another educational startup. We love the education space. CreateUp.com. And it's coming up. Let me reset this.
Yeah, it's taking a minute for mine to load.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, it took a little bit. All right, so here we go. The
online
web
web
series
school.
school. Very cool. I like this. I love anything that teaches startups, people that want to build their startups. So another site like this is called Startup Plays, and they charge for their content. It's really great. They've got some pretty cool educational content there. So here we go. So we've got sort of a laptop with a little video, in the middle to ask, so I can learn more. And then on the left we've got sort of a testimonial slider that says, "Hey, peeping at tutorial. I know." Whoop, I missed that one. Creator up. Course is finished. Okay, so yeah, so there's some testimonials going on there, and then below that we've got basically the content offerings. So we've got a 3 by 3 grid here, or 3 by 6 grid here of different types of content I can get. So there's how to distribute, and I can't even see the title because they've got available now covering that. But how to build YouTube.
Kind of a lot going on this
yes,
page.
there is kind of a lot. These graphics, in my opinion, need to be redesigned. It's just too. It needs, yeah, it needs
really bright and colorful, and there's a lot of elements. You know, I like how they've got the opacity things and the circles, and but probably a few too many things.
A few too many things, yeah. They need to tone it down a little bit, and they've got the sticker on top and all that kind of thing. And yeah, but as I hover over, we've got: do you have a YouTube channel? Do you want to build a loyal following? Learn how to build a subscriber base. Filmmaker YouTube Matt Caval has built a 130,000 subscriber on his comedy channel. Yeah, you know, this would be great for us. We want to build up our subscriber, thing, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
So, creator up.
Fire it up. Let's see.
If you guys are watching this, let us know. Tell us how to do this stuff. So I'm clicking on it. It's still a little bit slow, Jeff. I'm not sure why. Maybe they're posting it on a slow server. Yeah, okay, there we go. So here we are at a detail page, and we've got sort of a video, hopefully explaining it, and then we've got a learn now $47 call to action, and then below that we've got basically a tab interface explaining what you've got, what you're going to learn, and then the bio of the teacher. So this reminds me a lot of like other learning sites, Jeff. There's tons of them out there now. There's a lot of them, not tons, several of them out.
This is really clean and beautiful. So is the teacher here, Matt, is he getting most of, or is he getting a cut of that, the money? And is he sharing that with Creator Up, or how is the marketplace set up? Can I go and join as a teacher, or is he like working with, for Creator Up?
That's a very good question. This appears to be pretty curated. I don't see Teach for Us. I don't see that. It doesn't look like it's an open platform. It looks like, they know these guys and
they're partners.
They've partnered with them, yeah. So here we go. Okay. Here's how to crack the Kickstarter code. We can watch this. How to distribute a web series. So these are all basically around media, crowdsourcing.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, these are so cool. Like how to create a top comedy channel and stuff. I mean, just really blowing my mind as far as where education is right now, and what's being offered right here through cheap, YouTube videos that can, really help people, learn a craft or a trade that they're interested in, digitally and online.
Jeff, I'm a big fan of this site right here. I think from a design perspective, there's some issues and loading and all that, but I love the fact that they're very, very, very focused. They're super focused. Looks like they're doing a decent job curating it. If I'm a startup and I'm looking to build some traction and get on top of YouTube and crack the Kickstarter code and all the stuff, this is right up my alley. How to direct a web series.
If you're going to go and do a big Kickstarter campaign, it might be worth it for you to spend $20 or $30 there to get the lessons learned before you have to go make the errors yourself.
But I am interested in what your earlier question is how what do you suppose is the split, Jeff? Do you think you think this guy Mark, how much do you think he's making? Do you think he's making 50%, or Matt? Or do you think it's like 20-75 split, or what do you think? You think it's mostly going to the creators?
I have no idea. I guess 50-50.
I would think more than 50-50. I think these guys that are building these courses probably deserve the lion's share, right? And if Creator Up,
I would want the lion's share if I were one of the creators. Yeah. It depends how much traffic they're driving to Creator Up. It's surprisingly a slow website.
It's super slow. Yeah, it's super slow. Like I'm clicking on it.
They should go. We should send them a little video about what Amazon has learned, and like load time equals dollars basically,
Jeff,
for sales.
What is annoying to me is that they don't even have media loading in. It's just text, and these are just embeds. So it's not YouTube. It's the rest of the site is super slow. So I don't know.
They could probably quickly like get it 10 times quicker just by caching. Doing exactly. The basic things, but I think that's super important for any website where you're trying to get people to pay for stuff, like put in their credit card. Amazon's talked a lot about that. But I mean, it is a beautiful site, and I really love anybody that's trying to help educate people about their passions and stuff. These creators are trying to make a business out of their creations, right?
Right.
All these tools are trying to encourage that. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
a
this site is
win-win
super
thing.
slow, guys. You guys, I'm looking at you guys. You guys need to shift to some other server. Something's wrong here. Anyways, yeah, I hit so they're from USC. Oh, that's cool. So they're local. That's awesome. Yeah, clearly these are film student grads. A lot of this stuff covers YouTube and trying to figure out how to get your stuff crowdsourced. So it's a great idea. Perfect. I think it's an awesome vertical. I definitely could see these guys kicking ass if they just get more content on here and speed up their site. Their site is so slow.
Yeah, I was
Design.
gonna say there's another part I didn't dive into, which is once I buy the videos, how are they delivered to me? I'm assuming they're not via
No, I
YouTube,
doubt
so
it's
there are
YouTube. Yeah.
some hosting costs for the
Oh,
platform.
maybe
So,
that's what it is.
but
Maybe a lot of people are streaming videos on their site right now. That could be it. Yeah.
well,
Either.
that shouldn't really drag down their site. But
Yeah.
when you talk about the costs, it's involved.
Yeah, yeah, that might be it. And if that's the case, then guys, move over to a CDN or do like a Vimeo Pro or something. And yeah. So from a design perspective, I think it's okay. I think it still needs more work. Yeah, it needs somebody to go in and polish up some stuff. But the broad strokes are there. Originality, I give it a 3 as well. Not terribly original, but it's a great vertical. Survival. I'm gonna give it a 3 for survival and 3 for marketing. Yeah, simply because the site is so slow. And I think if they're gonna do well, they need to speed up their site. Marketing, I'd love to see some more tie-ins with some of these other bigger sites. But I imagine if they know how to get YouTube exposure, then they probably can get the creator up to get them exposure themselves. So, yeah. I'd also like to see.
I
I'd
really
also like
love
to
this
see a
space.
monthly program. That'd be great.
Oh, a monthly, okay.
Yeah,
Is that how some of the other guys are doing it?
Yeah, well,
Like
some of them
all
are.
you can eat for one price or what?
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like the all you can eat for one price. I like that.
Especially when they've got the vertical cut out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They've got a great vertical. This is an awesome vertical. They just keep cranking on this vertical. Where guerrilla style, HDR type filming or editing and collaborative editing and virtual promotion for their movies and figuring out a way to monetize and raise funds for their movies or the ideas or documentaries. It's a
Oh
great
yeah,
idea.
I mean Kickstarter plus that stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
there's a lot of these new skills that they're not teaching
That's
anywhere
right. That's
uh,
right.
that
Yeah.
are really valuable,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
and
if you want to go make a movie,
yeah.
here's how you raise the money for it.
Exactly.
Step one.
Exactly. And USC, I don't know if USC has a crowdsourcing class, but I know USC is not cheap. So these guys are going to have to make money somehow. So, all right. So that's it for our show today, Jeff. If there's anything you'd like to add,
No, I just want to remind everyone to go subscribe through all of our channels on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and we're on iTunes podcast and Stitcher and anywhere else you guys want to find us, we'll be there.
yeah, and please tell your friends, your mom, your dad, your dog, your cat, any other exotic pets that you may have. The Smoking Hot Coffee Show. We're trying to crank this out for you guys. We want your feedback and your suggestions and
Yeah,
and
please tell us if there's any startups you guys want us to cover or people you want us to talk to. We're trying to get some interviews going and try to add some more content that you guys want to see.
Yep, yep. So with that, that ends our week. We'll catch you guys next week.
Cool. See you online.